We have a unit that's tripped out on a transformer. I turned off the power or I was trying to disconnect these and I kind of did a whoops. I wasn't sure if I was going to record, but I took this off and I touched that. Tripped a breaker. I'm going to go restart it right now. So I took it off, it's there. The other side is right here. I just want to verify that the transformer is working before I get ahead of myself. So hopefully everything's good. And then we can come here and verify. Let's do this. .27 volts. Yeah. All right, so that's fine. This is tripping when I plug everything back in. So give me a minute. On there, we're gonna have to redo that connector or those connectors anyway. But I want to see or show that it's tripping. So immediately. So pretty sure the thermostat's calling, so now I need to go through and check all the wires coming from the thermostat, disconnect everything, and go one by one. I took off everything that was connected to the thermostat. We'll do that. Does not trip, so obviously it's a low voltage side because that's going to trip for low voltage. We're going to turn these on one by one. It could be a contactor, it could be the wire itself going down, so we'll see. It could also be the thermostat. I hooked up our Jumper King. It's all off right now. Just make sure everything's off when you use that. And we're going to hook up to our 24 volt side. And then we're going to hook up to cooling and our fan. So we're completely bypassing the wires to the thermostat. And then we're going to use this as our thermostat. So let's go one by one. Hopefully nothing pops over here. So let's try our fan. Well, let's energize it. Try the fan. Okay, our fan comes on. And we'll try the cooling. And the cooling comes on. We didn't trip our fuse there, so it's not a contactor. It's not the transformer. It's gonna be the wiring. So let's kill it. So the unit runs. It could also be the thermostat. I'm gonna double check the thermostat. I need to go rip it off the wall real quick. Before I went down, I hooked up the 24 volts back, and this is our common. It goes directly off the transformer. I don't remember why that was. I think we were trying to power the thermostat. So if I hook those two up, turn it back on, that's what's tripping it. So let me go double check on the thermostat and see if there's something wrong there. So yeah, just really quickly, so if white is common, coming up with R, we got a short there. So basically what's happening is common and the line 24 volt voltage is touching. Okay guys, so if you have a thermostat that takes batteries, it's still on, it's still gonna do the whole contact switching. And you can check if you have a bad thermostat. So you have it hooked up to RC, that's gonna be your 24 volts. So it should close to G and Y in cooling, right? Because it's calling for these two, the blower and the compressor. What it should not be doing is closing to common, because that's a direct short. And it is. It's basically your hot and your neutral. Your line, your common. So they should not be touching. That's a short all day. So I don't have these, and we've had such bad luck with these. These are, some of our guys were using these a year ago or so, and probably recently too. This one looks pretty new. I don't have good luck with these. We check a working one. This is a new one I have that takes batteries. We are hooked up to RC, which is our 24 volts. If we go to green, our blower is calling, and Y1 is calling for cooling. And as you can see here, we're not supposed to get a direct short or continuity to common. All right, so I came back up just to make sure that the wires are not touching down or going down. So if we go here, there's no continuity across common and R from the wiring coming up. Like if the wire got damaged and they're touching each other, they rubbed out or something. But we don't have that issue here. We just have a thermostat that's causing it. So let me get all this stuff put to the side. Let's reset it. So everything's still disconnected. I'm hooked up to the side to energize. From here we have the thermostat off. Still, we're gonna leave everything off. I just want to run it. So I'm gonna shove my Jumper King in here. We're gonna energize it. Hopefully I don't burn anything up. Off for that, and then cooling, and then I can close this up real quick and let it run. The thermometer on here so I can get a general reading, make sure it is cooling, let it run at least 5 minutes, because I've had that happen recently where it only ran for a few minutes and maybe the compressor gave out or something. So let's make sure everything's working properly, and then just have this reading well, and then I'll go get him a thermostat. Yeah, it's doing its job, which I figured that was fine. The thermostat just decided to act up. Put this back the way it was. I need to fix this connector, I forgot. I got the new connector on there. I don't have that one that it had that has the back-to-back spades. But I have this one, it's side by side, same thing. So we're just gonna put it in there. That way all the connections are on there, nice and secure, and good as new. Looking up, can't forget our Jumper King was helpful for today. You know, getting that low voltage short. Trying not to come back up here because I just got to replace the thermostat, and I almost forgot to turn on the damn disconnect. You know, like that meme that I posted when you're like, can't remember if you turn the disconnect back on after you leave. Jeez. Yeah, and if you're like, oh, that's too big or whatever, like, I don't put it in my bag, this tool. I clip it with a carabiner on the side with a D-ring. There's always D-rings that you can clip this to. And that's how I go up and down the ladder with it, set it up. And then when I don't need it, it's not something I got to take in and out of the tool bag. It's just, you clip it on, you clip it off. All right, and this one, they called it in, but that's an old unit. I'm only going to do what I can to it. I've been trying to get them to do maintenance, so they need a coil clean. The coils are pretty trashed as well, and they need new contactors. They really need all those components taken out and that area cleaned up. But I keep getting like, oh yeah, we'll do it soon, we'll do it, whatever, but it never gets approved. So just gonna get it by. And they probably would not have even called it in, but you know, they had a customer complaint because those are connected to the restrooms, and I guess it was, you know, it was too hot to take a shit. So yeah, they called it in, and we're gonna go get a single stage thermostat because I ran out and I forgot to restock. That's my bad. And I don't want to I have two more expensive thermostats. You know, there is a significant price difference because I do have multiple stage thermostats, and I have one that uses a remote sensor, so then those are going to get a little pricey for them, when all they need for that old unit is a single stage basic thermostat. So let me go get one. We'll come back, put it in. I'll go ahead and buy two. You know, if you need to restock, always go and get two of what you need. You're starting out your business, when you start getting the calls like for motors, thermostats, stuff like that, always buy them in twos. That way you have truck stock. So we're gonna go do that right now. And yeah, that's it. When I was coming down the ladder, a few steps in, I realized, like, did I you know, turn the breaker back on? And I completely forgot, so I had to go back up there. It's like that, like I said, that meme that I posted where it's like, oh man, your brain goes crazy, and it's like, did I turn this on? Did I turn this back on? Did I leave my jumper there? Where's my thermometer? You know, all these things that you deal with when you leave a job site. So I almost had that moment, because I was trying to get down off the roof, and I was like, I don't want to have to come back up here. Everything's fine on the roof. It temped fine. It was cooling. All the wiring was okay. You know, it'll get them by. And I just wanted to put it back up. That way, when we get there, all we're gonna do is put in the thermostat, turn that thing on, and it should cool right away. And I can just invoice, get out of there, and move on to the next call. I'm waiting on some parts to come in, and I got another job already lined up. Alright, so I forgot to mention that since it was a thermostat, and that thermostat had batteries, and it was just our common that was shorted out to the R, to the 24 volt. Technically, I could have just unhooked the common to get them by because it was battery powered. So it being battery powered, we didn't need common to power the thermostat itself. Remove common, and you could have ran it with just the R, making the contacts over to, you know, switching on the yellow, green, cooling fan, you know, all that on its own. So that was a neat thing if I had to, like if it was a weekend after hours or something like that. But even then, I have other thermostats, like I have a 2-stage that I could have put in even though I didn't need it to get them by. But if I didn't have any thermostats, I could have gotten them by like that with and it would have ran on the batteries. But do I really want to leave them with a faulty thermostat? So that's why I'm saying, in case of an emergency, I could have done that, but I would not have left it like that for them, because if it's failing internally, who's to say it's not going to start failing on other, on the other contacts, where it's like, because I've seen them where they get stuck in cooling because it won't open anymore. So what if it gets stuck in cooling, stuck in heating, or something of that nature? So either way, we're going to change it out. But I'm just saying, it being battery powered, we did not need the common to run it because the common was no good on it. So just kind of was thinking about that, wanted to make sure I pointed that out. But if it's failing, you don't want to leave them with that thermostat. So we changed it out for them, got them going, checked all the temps, everything was good. It was dropping. It was hot. It was hot in the bathroom there, so it was gonna take a while for that to cool down, and that middle area. So that's all it was. We used the Jumper King, clipped it onto my bag, went up, or I took it up with me, clipped it onto my belt to go up there, and then from there we just went ahead and checked stuff. It's just a convenience. I know a lot of guys are gonna hate on it. It's whatever. It's an extra tool. It's like, would you rather use cheap little jumpers or something like that I can kind of switch? And if we have an oh shit moment, I have a kill switch there. If I have that at my disposal in my truck, take it with me, do my checks with it, whatever connections I have or setup that I have on this unit. Like, this is a train unit. It did not have the test setup on it, so I can't jump it out like that. On most of them you can, but this one I couldn't. not all ACs have terminal boards like that. So you're either trying to hook up to a wire nut, hook up to a terminal screw somewhere, and some of those alligator clips suck. I've had them fall off plenty of times, you know. And then this one has the option to do the piercing tips, which I understand if you're worried about leaving holes in the system, but at this point, like you saw the one that I was working on, it's whatever. It has way more problems than me leaving a little pierce in the wire that you can't see. I was skeptical on the piercing tips as well. I would try not to use them. I'm not going to go to a maintenance and use those things every 6 months and pierce the hell out of those wires. But if you need to, if you are struggling with a diagnosis, or if you really need to get into a wire without removing it off, you know, a board or whatever it's connected to, because a lot of times, you know, you can't hook on safely without kind of like messing up something or worrying about the angle you have, and if you might accidentally touch it to another one and kind of pop something. So it has its uses. I'm not trying to sell you on it. It's just, you know, I want you guys to understand what the Jumper King is for. I have one. I'm not going to use it every day. It's not going to fit in my bag. I clip it to the side if I need it. I sometimes take them to maintenance or low voltage shorts. And also if I'm a long ways from a thermostat and I need to check different things, because I'm not going to be going and doing it manually. Because I have some locations where I got to go up a few stories, and they're kind of like giant strip malls where my customers' like office or space is nowhere near the roof access, and I am not going to be going back and forth. I could easily either leave it to cool, because like we do cool, you know, our hot weather is almost year round. Technically it's going to be on cool for 90%, 95% of the year. But if I'm having issues where it's shorted or the thermostat's blank, more times than not, I'm pulling off the thermostat anyway, or in those situations. And I can leave it off, go up to the roof and use that, you know, versus trying to put a whole bunch of jumpers on stuff. So it's convenience. So that's just my 2 cents on that. I didn't want to make this into a Jumper King video, but you know, it helped me find the short today. Super simple call. Got it taken care of. New thermostat. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I'm waiting on some parts. I got to do some errands, so I'll see you guys.